Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, the Frugal. So today I want to talk about mindset, and particularly how mindset will determine what we achieve in our lives, and ultimately how happy and successful we will be if we have a growth mindset. The reason why I want to talk about this today is because this has been coming up in my personal life quite a lot recently, where I've been talking to people about achieving their goals, and a lot of fear and negative belief about their ability to achieve their goals has been rearing its ugly head. And so I thought this would be a good topic for a Sunday afternoon. So without wasting time, let's jump in. So what is mindset? Let's start with some definitions. Put very simply, mindset is a way of thinking. A definition of mindset that really resonates for me, that I've taken from the Sources of Insight website, reads, and I'm going to read this from my phone so I get the words right. Your mindset is a collection of thoughts and beliefs that shape your thought habits, and your thought habits affect how you think, what you feel, and what you do. Your mindset impacts how you make sense of the world and how you make sense of you. So to keep it really easy, we are what we think. Our mindsets shape how we view ourselves and the world around us. So from that point of view, when it comes to most things, if we think we either can or we can't do something, either way, we're right. And if we see something as an opportunity or if we see it as a disaster, again, either way, depending on our mindset, we are right. How we see it and how we think it is what it will be. Mindset has been a key concept for me for some time. Having been triggered by a pivotal moment in my life 4 or 5 years ago, when a therapist told me that the rigid beliefs that I had about my abilities, myself, how the world related to me, and what I could achieve was leading me to conspire with myself to fulfill these prophecies. What I didn't know at the time, but that has become crystal clear to me now, is that my thoughts translated into actions, and those actions became the catalyst for events around me, and those events and the outcomes proved to me in a negative feedback loop that my mind was right, that my thoughts and beliefs were correct. So if I didn't think I was good enough to get a job, my dream job would pop up and I wouldn't apply for it, and I wouldn't get the job because of course I didn't, because I wasn't good enough. And I will never forget the lesson that my sales manager gave me a few years ago, which really cemented this in me, when he told me that if I didn't believe that I deserved the highest grade achievable that year, and he felt that I did, but because I graded myself lower, he told me that he would give me the grade I gave myself until I was ready to step up and own and claim my abilities and put on paper that yes, I was exceeding expectation. And so because of that, with a straight face, he told me, your pay rise will be capped because you've given yourself the wrong grade. Now, horrible situation, awful situation in a different environment at another time. My sales manager should have just corrected the grade and awarded me the correct pay rise, but such is life, that's what happened. But that instance, that real world instance, coupled with the message that my therapist had given me, really taught me a key lesson that my mind will limit what I can achieve based on what it believes. And since then, I've been working to be as open-minded and growth-focused as possible, not to put limits on myself. So to take this a step further, that session with my then therapist brought me to realize that the building blocks, the foundations of our mindset are laid in our childhood. How we were raised and what we experience will determine what we think and believe about ourselves and the world. This is so important to understand because our default thinking, our autopilot, was scripted, was set long before we had any sense of self, long before we had our own autonomy, and it's now just set in stone. So bearing that in mind, I think it's really important for us to question where our thinking is genuinely coming from and to ask ourselves whether it's truly serving us. It's my belief that mindset is like a muscle. If we exercise it on a regular basis to keep it flexible and maybe even grow it, it will be fit enough to take on our individual worlds. However, if we feel it junk or we're too lazy to push past our comfort zone, to push into that zone of pain where it kind of hurts but it's worth it, then we may find that we don't have the strength and stamina to thrive. The psychologist Carol Dweck has suggested that mindset can be used as a predictor of success in an individual's life. Her research has found that it's not your innate ability that determines the success that you will achieve. Instead, it is your belief that your abilities can be developed to achieve the things that you want to go after. Her research in this area is fascinating, so I will include a few links to her research in the description box. I would definitely check this out. She has some really interesting insights into how being praised for your intelligence and ability as a child can actually have negative consequences for adults in relation to their ability to overcome challenges and be resilient. But for the purposes of this video, it's her concept of the fixed versus the growth mindset that I want to shine a light on here. She suggests that mindset can be split into two clear camps. The fixed mindset is characterized by the belief that intelligence is static, that you are born with it, that is innate. This belief consequently leads individuals to desire looking smart, which means they avoid challenges that test them for fear of not looking smart. It also means they give up easily when challenged, see effort as pointless, and ignore useful, though negative, feedback from others, and feel threatened by other people's success. Whereas the growth mindset is characterized by the belief that intelligence can be developed, leading to a constant desire to learn, embrace challenges, persist in the face of setbacks, see effort as the path to mastery, and embrace criticism. Because of all this, people with the growth mindset can find inspiration and lessons from the success of others, so have the ability to celebrate others and not feel threatened, which will ultimately help you collude with yourself to reach your goals or just be happy. Now, I need to be clear, it will not happen overnight. One video is not going to miraculously change the way that you think. It takes intentional work, consistent work over months and years to break the pattern of beliefs and thinking that you've built up over these years. However, if you are interested in developing a growth mindset where the process is more interesting than the worry of the outcome, where you're more comfortable being proactive than reactive, and where the fear of failure no longer paralyzes you, then these are 8 things that you can introduce to put you on the path to developing a growth mindset. The language that we use with ourselves internally is very important. If we can reframe what we tell ourselves and try and shift the negative, limiting thoughts to positive, open thoughts, then we can start to make a tangible impact on how we see things in general. So for example, me, I'm a microscopic YouTuber. I don't have many subscribers, though I'm grateful for every person that is subscribed to my channel. I could tell myself, oh, I'm sitting here filming a video that not many people are going to watch. Or I could say to myself, and what I do genuinely say to myself is that I'm enjoying this process, that I'm building a small but loyal community with my YouTube channel, and I'm learning so much with each video. So much so that it's worth the hours that I put into making the videos, editing, etc., and putting them out. So every time I pick up the camera, I'm excited all over again. If you want to start developing a growth mindset, you have to encourage and empower yourself. You have to be your own cheerleader. Now, you do have to be realistic. We all have limitations. That is true. There are some things we cannot do. However, if you tell yourself that you cannot achieve something, you will create that reality and your mind will hold you back. Instead, tell yourself that you're doing good things, that you're doing great things, and that you can achieve anything that you choose to put your mind to. Big yourself up, because if you can't do it and you don't believe it, nothing anybody else says is going to change that. So, as I say, be your own cheerleader. By focusing on the process rather than just the outcome, we will take success with every small step we take and every new thing we learn along the way. Rather than focusing on the goal and fearing your ability to achieve it, focus on the work and the effort that you need to put in every day and the knowledge that you need to absorb. And one day you will look up and success will have happened without fear paralyzing you. Now, I just want to be clear here that we don't want to use steps as another way to paralyze us. If you don't know all of the stages, all of the steps of the process, identify the first thing that you need to do and do it. And with every step that you discover, that you start doing, you will eventually figure out what you have to do next. You'll still make progress because action drives action. The more we do, the more we have to do. So just get started. No one likes failing, full stop. It's a fact of life and it's the biggest teacher there is. Rather than running away from failure, if it happens, you fail at something, sit with it and understand what happened. What were the ingredients in the mix? What didn't work? What should you have done instead? By taking the time to sit with your failures and understand what happens, we can extract the lessons. We can take the lessons of the failures into the rest of our lives to build new strategies, rather than carrying the failures themselves forward like a weight on our shoulders, holding us back. Shifting to a growth mindset is not about having a grandiose sense of self. It's not about being absurdly positive or believing that you can just do anything, because that's not the reality of the situation for any of us. Instead, it's about being comfortable with stepping outside of your comfort zone without feeling anxious or overwhelmed. Take your time to tackle new problems, however small. The key thing here is to push just past what you think your limits are and reconsider your thinking in these new situations. It's important to remember that sometimes you will fail, or at least you will feel like you're failing, whether you are or not. Because life is unpredictable, things will not always go to plan and you will come across difficulties. A growth mindset is not a superpower. It will not protect you from the chaos of life. Instead, learn to be flexible and adjust where necessary. Roll with the punches. Be emotionally fit enough to set yourself back on course if you fall off, and keep it moving. Possibly this could have been number one, but here we are. Don't just ignore your old fixed way of thinking. You need to challenge those thoughts. Is your insecurity or comparison complex leading you to be negative in this situation? Are you undervaluing your abilities and achievements because of fear of failing? Is that great outcome not good enough because of perfectionist thinking? Take your time to scrutinize your thoughts. What are the objective truths? If you can't find evidence to confirm your beliefs, explore where they came from in the first place. Challenging our thoughts will help us, number one, recognize our default thinking, and number two, will help us shift and expand our mindset slowly but surely. Now, this may sound like a weird one, but spending time helping other people in the service of others will not only have a tangible effect on how you feel about yourself, but it'll also change your view of the world. This is not an opportunity for you to see yourself as better than others because you're in a position to help others. More so, it's an opportunity for you not to be self-involved. As I know from personal experience, putting yourself at the service of others is unpredictable. You do not know what's going to be expected of you, and you do not know what you're going to do or how you are going to react. Your ideas of how you do things and what makes sense will be blown out of the water. And hopefully when you rebuild your thinking, there will be parts that were not serving you that you will just leave out. And there will be gaps that you won't fill in, allowing you to actually expand and make space for new beliefs, new ideas about yourself and what you can do. Find some time every day to be thankful for the people in your life and to be thankful for the events that have taken place around you. Reflect on the moments and the things that put a smile on your face, that helped you solve a problem or that just made you content. But also reflect and be thankful for the challenges, obstacles and fears that we have felt, because these negative moments present us opportunities to grow. They present us the opportunities to stretch ourselves, because by going through a challenging time, we likely learned new ways of coping, new ways of operating, new ways of navigating, and so we should be grateful for the learning opportunity. This will not always work and it will not always be easy, and it may not be able to happen in the moment. Sometimes it's one of those things that you reflect back on and you say, that was horrendous, but actually the learning curve, I am grateful for the lessons that it gave me. If you can remember that the journey matters as much as the destination, the bumps in the road are necessary to get you to your end point. So because we are actually striving and on our way to our end destination, should be grateful that we stumbled across those bumps in the road, because they tell us we're on the right path. Okay guys, so that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me a thumbs up, hit the like button to help the algorithm. I have to keep asking. If you thought this video was valuable and you enjoyed it and you want to hear more about mindset and achievement, development related to work and money, please do subscribe. Watch some other videos, but hopefully I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.